Welcome to Lone Peak High School, the site of a super regional, the 6A baseball tournament here on KSLSports.com. Dusty Lister with you for Game Night Live Rewind's coverage of the 2022 6A State Baseball Tournament on your new online home for high school sports, KSLSports.com. Lone Peak and Copper Hills in Game 2 as that first pitch is off the mark. And if you aren't familiar or unaware, the change of the format of the state baseball tournaments now into super regionals and then super regionals, so 3-game series throughout the first 2 rounds, and then we go into site play, and then the championship series is the best of 3. So Lone Peak took Game 1 and now looking for the sweep in Game 2 as that one swung through and missed for strike 2. And leading things off for Copper Hills is Peyton Adams, the shortstop, and pitching for Lone Peak is Chris Billings. 1-2, half-hearted swing, and it's a full out. Beautiful breaking pitch there from Billings for the first out. And one away here for the Grizzlies, and that'll bring up Austin Taylor, the opposing pitcher today for Copper Hills. And, of course, if you're unfamiliar, his brother Braden is a stud. He was a freshman of the year in the Big 12 last year at TCU. He was just named to the national team yesterday. Utah's own Braden Taylor doing big things down at TCU. And so his younger brother at the plate looks at ball 1. And that one finds the inner part of the plate. Evens the count for Billings at a ball and a strike. Coming back up the middle, taken on a knee by Jordan Fry over to corner in time for the second out of the inning. So Taylor grounds out. Now 2 away for the Grizzlies. And I'll bring up Gage Olson. And Gage, second baseman here for the Grizzlies. And Billings is low on that one. So count 1-0. Of course, Olson will get preferential treatment. Not only is his papa a Carbon Dino, he's a Wellington Warrior. His dad grew up in Wellington with myself, my brothers, played in the Little League teams. That one's in for a called strike, evened up at a 1-1. We were doing the last chance tournament here at Lone Peak during the pandemic 2 years ago, and his brother was also on the team. So now a ball and a strike to Olson. That one up and out of the zone. The count now goes 2-1 here for Billings. And now the 2-1 in there for a called strike 2. Evens us up. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 base open. You really throw anything you want here to Billings. I'd be surprised to see a breaking ball. And he does throw a breaking ball. Tugged it a little bit. Count full now, 3-2. The base open, middle of the lineup. You don't want to give up something fat. But also, just walks will kill you. Walks are different than hits. So the payoff pitch fouled out, or fouled off, I should say, and now we'll do it again. And once again, the 3-2 fastball by him, strike 3. Billings sits down 2, but puts down Copper Hills in order. We go to the bottom of the first inning. Lone Peak leads. Or pardon me, Lone Peak coming to the plate. You're watching the 2022 6A baseball tournament on KSLSports.com. Yeah, welcome back to Lone Peak High School. Dusty Lister with you. Bottom of the first inning. And leading things off for Lone Peak is Crew Mcchesney, a name you should be very familiar with from our football coverage. An absolute stud, and especially the postseason for the state champion Lone Peak Knights. Looks at ball one. He's also been offered to play baseball at BYU. As he looks at ball two. Crew batting over 500 on the season. Top batting average, at least according to stats reported this year for Lone Peak. And that ball, the 2-0 lifted out of play. Probably batting .435 on the year. Drove in 34 runs. Looks at strike two. So count even. Pitching for Copper Hills is Austin Taylor. Drops a level and leaves that one wide to count full. And that one back into the screen for Mcchesney. We'll do it again. Mentioned game one went the way of Lone Peak yesterday, 5-1. Heaton, the winning pitcher. And again goes three-quarter with that breaking ball and misses. And he'll put a runner aboard as Mcchesney draws the leadoff walk.
For the Knights, at the plate, the left fielder, number 20, Kayden Campbell.
And that'll bring up Cade Gamble. So the left fielder, Cade Campbell, coming to the plate. Of course, his brother having a great year at BYU. Campbell batting .354 on the season. Looks at ball one here from Taylor.
Hit record.
As I look back at Mcchesney, obviously left-handed bat, good speed at first, always a threat to be in motion. So ball, no strikes. Here to Gamble. Mcchesney away from first. And that one misses low, and this is what speed does. You got Mcchesney on first base, and speed, they're going to try to mix up that timing there with Taylor. But the guys behind Mcchesney are going to see a lot more fastballs. They don't want to be throwing a breaking ball, give up that bag at second base. Plus, if he hangs it, puts it out in right field, he's going first to third easily. Mcchesney, good secondary, and that one now off the plate. The count runs a 3-0. Taylor going to get a little bit of a tight spot here. Down, falls behind 3-0. The runner at first. It drops that little three-quarter fastball in there for a called strike one. Certainly red light 3-0. 3-1. We'll see what Coach Baseman has in mind here. The 3-1, Mcchesney goes in for called strike two. The throw down. Yeah, not in time. That was tight enough to wait just a moment. The only thing Crew is running with this win today is a parachute for resistance. So Crew in there with a stolen bag. And the count now full. Payoff is wide of the plate. And I'll put runners on first and second. It's Lone Peak threatening already.
Number 21, Kayden Hodson.
So runners on first and second. And that brings up Kayden Hodson, the shortstop. And Taylor misses low there. So if you're just joining us, Copper Hills went down in order. Bottom of the first, runners on first and second. No outs and the count of 2 balls and no strikes here to Kayden Hodson, the shortstop for Lone Peak. And of course, to get into the state tournament, you know that Region 4 and Region 3, where the power is American Fort, Pleasant Grove, Lone Peak, and you're going to be looking at Riverton and, of course, Bingham. As that ball ripped down the third baseline, but foul, and the count now 2-1. And, of course, Region 1 fans yelling at the screen, what about Fremont? We'll see. I mean, Fremont comes in the top of the RPI with the record. Of course, AF went down to the Scott Boras Classic, played some top teams in the nation. Get no help in the RPI for that. You know, the reigning champion with Carpenter and Fisher Ingersoll and others. Can take something else to unseat him, especially in a, you know, we go the regional format, the best of 3 in the state championship game. Corners up. A ball hammered down the left field line, and his hooking is foul. So the count even at 2-2 as Hodson just a little ahead here on Taylor on 2 balls that he's hit. He struck well down the third baseline. So come back at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Hodson batted .433 on the season, 27 runs driven in. Right side of the outfield. My goodness, they're playing him straight pull. That ball again pulled foul. If this was the annoying part of Major League Baseball, we'd be having 3 infielders on the left side of the third base, or probably second base. So playing him straight up the middle, corners up. But the outfield shade, I mean, the right fielder's playing right center. Throwing him outside yet. See if they take that power away. And there's that pitch, and he lifts it high into the air into right center field. Catch is made out there. Tagging up is Mcchesney. No play at third. It'll be runners on the corners. As Hodson advances. Mcchesney.
Number 10, the second baseman, Jordan Fry.
And I'll bring up Jordan Fry, the second baseman. Fry, a .303 hitter, drove in 25 runs. So 25 RBIs on the season. Got 5 guys at Lone Peak who drove in over 20 runs on the year. It looks at strike 1. It feels like the Angels. 1 through 5 is over 20 RBIs for your Los Angeles Angels. Of course, it's mine and Vince Francis's Los Angeles Angels. The 0-1 hit him. Dead ball. So bases loaded. This inning has not gone the way that Taylor wanted to go.
Now hitting for Lone Peak, the designated hitter number 22, Josh Heaton.
And I'll bring up Josh Heaton. Heaton was a winning pitcher yesterday. Statistically, the best pitcher on the Lone Peak staff. So 1 out, bases loaded. As the junior Heaton steps in, offers it the first pitch and fouls it off. As Gooby would say in the Angels broadcast, not looking for a home run. Just single. Oh, a hot shot right back at Taylor. Doubles him up, and out of the jam is Copper Hills. His mom got frightened and then cheered, speaking of Austin Taylor, but what a play. Holy Hannah. Hot shot right back at him. No run scored for Lone Peak. They had bases loaded and 1 out. As we go to the top of the second inning, it is 0-0. You're watching the 2022 6A Baseball State Tournament. Hi, welcome back to Lone Peak High School. Dusty Litster with you. We're top of the second inning. Is Copper Hills able to get out of a jam? Austin Taylor had bases loaded and 1 out. And an absolute rocket hit back at him, able to stab it and throw it over to first to get out of the jam. So 0-0 our score as Copper Hills coming to the plate. Cole Skibby, the catcher, lead things off, the 4-hitter. Looks at ball 1 from Billings. Learning Billings. Going to go to Mesa Community College at Grand Junction. And Skibby looks at a strike on the inner part of the plate. Billings pulls one off of that, but lined in the left field. And that is a leadoff single for the catcher, Skibby. So 1 aboard for the Grizzlies.
At the plate for the Grizzlies.
Of course, at Copper Hills High School, you can say we want football program been a little the doldrums, if you will. Basketball program has been very, very good under the last 10 years. Coach Blanchard now handed off as well. But this baseball program has been good for a long time as well. Of course, the young man that I coached for 3 summers, Aaron Sandoval, played at Copper Hills his senior year. Was on the junior national team, as that's in there for a called strike. We talk about Braden Taylor, the freshman of the year in the Big 12 last year, now part of the Team USA. Had another spectacular year, his sophomore year down at Fort Worth, living his best life amongst the limestone. As out is good move there by Billings. But Skibby speed up back in time. So Mero Pena stepping in as that is in for a called strike 2. No balls and 2 strikes to the designated hitter. And called strike 3. 3rd K of the day for Billings.
For the Grizzlies at the plate, number 43, the left fielder, Grayson Wallen.
And that brings in Grayson Wallen, the left fielder with 1 aboard and 1 out. Keep a close eye there at first base. Keep trying to keep the double play ball in order. Billings skips one home. Nice job there on the dish by Dane Tenney. So ball, no strikes. Fastball fouled off. Count even at a ball and a strike. We had no games played on Wednesday. We had amazing baseball weather Wednesday. It was lacrosse weather last night. It is football weather right now. Good mercy. November football weather. That ball's chopped back. And here we are near Memorial Day. Hope yous and yours are enjoying the streams. Your new home of online championships right here at KSLSports.com. We got track going on at BYU. We got baseball, lacrosse, boys soccer. Next week, we are packed to the gills. That ball's going to get away from Tenney, and that'll advance the runner to second base on the ball. So now a runner in scoring position for Copper Hills. So Grayson Wallen looks at the bender, swings through it, and the second K of the inning. And the fourth K thus far for Billings.
At the plate for the Grizzlies, the first baseman, number 9, Jake Burbidge.
So that brings up Jake Burbidge, the first baseman. Burbidge, a .353 hitter on the year. And that bounder is outside. The umpire let us know. Always appreciated that as a coach. Just going balls and strikes, never tell me where we are located. Frustrating. Joe Madden got tossed for one of the most mild-mannered arguments of balls and strikes. Wasn't really going to call it an argument. No question there. The robot would call that a strike. And now the 1-1. Breaking ball bounced. I think cold days like this, he's got to finish his pitches here. He tugged it a little bit. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Here to Jake Burbidge, runner in scoring position for the Grizzlies. Fastball misses down. Now count out 3 balls and 1 strike. Mentioned Burbidge, at least according to stats reported, only 2 RBIs. Surprised by that. Raises the heater, and a count now full. Imagine he's going to go back to that. Elevate the fastball 3-2. Especially when he's struggling down in the zone. You want to throw letters up. And he missed it low. Now ball it down, and so now runners on first and second with the walk. We can see it here, that ball missed low. So I'll bring up Hunter Logan with the runners on first and second. The center fielder. Drove in 7 runs thus far in the season. Could pick up RBI number 8, because that one's up and in. So Billings going to have to... Billings take a deep breath here. And if you're Copper Hills, it's finding that ball square. He throws that ball middle. To time it up. Fastball lifted out of play. Think if you're the coach, you're looking at guys that, hey, put it in a box. If it's not there, don't offer. Get yourself into a count where he's going to have to feed you. A 1-1, he falls behind 2-1. You know you're getting another fastball. But not offering it a bender. Fastball in, 2-1. Now the count. So Limp playing back. 2 outs, keep everything in front. 2 on, looking for something straight. And he misses up in the zone. 3 balls and 1 strike here. In a tight spot for Billings. Has been unable to locate his fastball. Sometimes the cold does that. Fingers are a little cold. See if Billings battle back. 3-1. Imagine you got the red light here. Bottom of the order. This is the 8-hitter. And that is off the plate. Base is now loaded. And that'll bring out a visit. So it's a quick timeout. We'll be right back. If you're watching the 6A state tournament. Conference is over, but the base is still full. Zach Wallen comes to the plate, the right fielder. Base is loaded, 2 outs. Here for the Grizzlies, a chance to get on top here Against Lone Peak, they trail the series 1-0. Trying to force a game 3, and a hit batsman. Bring in a run. So Copper Hills on the board. As Hunter Logan drives in, or pardon me, Zach Wallen drives in to run the hard way. Is Cole Skibby, who led off the inning with a single. His speed-up runner comes in. So to the top of the order we go, and it's Peyton Adams. As Billings struggling to find the zone. Adams was down on strikes in his first bat. Bender finds the plate for a called strike. Adams batted .344 on the year, drove in 19. He's the leading RBI man here, the sophomore. The Ephus misses, and they count now 2-0. I never knew what the Ephus was. Hideki Matsuzaka never really threw it. That one does find the zone, so count out 2 balls and a strike. But if you're Adams, still in control here, 2-1 with bases full. Again, he's looking for a fastball, middle, being super selective and making Billings prove he's going to throw 2 straight strikes. Breaking ball, he chases up in the zone. Ball handled the second over in time to short way. And that will do it. The threat does bring in a run off a hit batsman. So we head to the bottom of the second inning. It is 2-1 Copper Hills. You're watching Game Night Live Rewind's coverage of the 2022 6A State Tournament. Make 2022 the year of you. Go to wgu.edu and fill out your opportunity to get a scholarship at Western Governors University. Get your degree on your time, your schedule. And make 2022 the year of you. Bottom of the second inning, and it's 1-0. Copper Hills leading Lone Peak. Dusty Lister with you here in the 2022 6A baseball tournament. Is Billings offering it the first pitch from Taylor. I thought we'd see what the wind would do. Didn't do much. As Billings retired with a lazy fly ball to center. So 1 away. That brings up Dane Tenney, the catcher. He looks at ball 1. Yeah, ball up in the zone, 2 balls and no strikes. Austin Taylor, the starting pitcher for the Grizzlies, was a crazy first inning. We got a bases loaded and 1 out. Thought Lone Peak would be able to make some hay, and instead it was a line drive from Josh Heaton back at Taylor, who made the play. Stabbed the line drive, throws over to first for the step on the double off and end the inning for Lone Peak as Tenney draws a leadoff walk. So a man aboard as speed up runner will come on.
The first baseman, number 24, Easton Comer.
And then they'll bring Slade is the speed up. And I'll bring up Easton Comer, starting quarterback of the state championship Lone Peak Knights. It's also our 2021 pressure performer on Game Night Live Rewind as he looks at ball 1. Recently, just actually signed to play football at Weber State. After he gets home from his LDS mission to Milan, Italy. Go spend time down there with the Paisan. Fastball in for a called strike. So ball on a strike to Comer. As Taylor, that ball misses outside. The throw down is not in time. Second stolen base of the day. So duck on the pond here for Easton Comer. A chance to drive in a run. Nine RBIs on the season for Easton. Now the 2-1. Again goes a little three-quarter look, and that ball's fouled back to the screen. Count out 2-2. I think it's been interesting to watch Taylor as he drops it down, as he's throwing the breaking ball and the fastball from that arm angle. Does it again. Breaking ball misses. Count out full. Catcher asked the umpire where it was. He said it was inside. So a full count to Comer. The payoff pitch fouled off. And we'll do it again. So again, the 3-2. Fastball line in the right field. And that's going to get down. It won't bring the run in. Slade had to hold up to see it through, to not get doubled off. So it'll be runners on the corners as Comer comes through. Does not pick up the RBI, but does move the runner to third. Great at bat there by Comer. Goes the other way. And now bring up now the 9-hitter, Jethro Johnson. Last time we were here, Johnson was 1 for 3 with 2 RBIs and a run scored. Comer's going to take second. So that's in for a called strike. Nine-hitter, top of the order coming up. Drew Mcchesney on deck. And the Knights threatening to take the lead with a base hit. As Johnson fouls that one off, and then the count now 0-2. Middle's back, corners up. The 0-2 back through the box, backhanded, but that's going to be down. And that is an infield single and an RBI as the run comes in. And we are tied at 1 on the RBI single for Jethro Johnson. Good effort at second base. Trying to get down on the ball in the backhand by Gage Olson. Not a routine play. So Johnson drives in the run. And back to the top of the order, Crew Mcchesney. Crew a leadoff walk last inning. 24 RBIs on the year for Crew, the chance to pick up 25 at third base. Actually, never asked Vince Francis if he's RBI or RBIs. We'll get his answer after this pitch. Runner goes. That's in for a called strike. There is a right answer, Vince. Which one are you? 25 RBI? You that guy? 25 RBI? It's a statistical category. 25 RBIs. A ball lifted out of play. Mark Gubzika says RBIs. People ruining baseball now say RBI. They're all Giants fans that do that. Breaking ball. Mcchesney swings through, and he is down on strikes as out number 2.
For the Knights, at the plate, the left fielder, number 20, Campbell.
It's amazing. It wasn't until Moneyball era that people start arguing about RBIs. Even Bob Costas, who's like the worst baseball person, like says RBIs. When I say that, I mean like stuck up baseball person. So coming to the plate now is Kayden Campbell. With 2 outs and runners on second and third. As Campbell looks at ball 1. Swung through and missed. Just take it a little more serious with 2 outs. Go ahead run at third. Here for Kayden Campbell. The 1-1 misses up. So 2 balls and a strike. Mentioned Campbell, 354 on the year. Drove in 24 runs. Misses out one outside. 3-1 now. Fastball elevated and swung through to the count full. Campbell recently committed to SLCC, who made it back to the Junior College World Series. Ground ball back up the middle. Olsen able to get a glove on it once again. Going to keep it to a single, and another run comes in. So back to runners on the corners as Campbell picks up his 25th RBI on the year. That brings up Kayden Hodson as Lone Peak takes a 2-1 lead. So Taylor in a tight spot. 2 outs. And Hodson, the 3-hitter, to the plate here for Lone Peak. They look to extend the lead as Taylor pulls out one little wide. Hodson's last time up flew out to right. Well, actually, the ball was right to right center where the right fielder's playing him. Gonna pitch him outside. And again, lifts this one high into center field, drifting toward right center. They're going to talk it out on the warning track against the wall. The catch is made. Great job of tracking that ball by Zach Walling. That ball had a tail to it as they pitched that ball outside. And against the wall, makes the catch. But it is a crooked number in the bottom of the second inning for Lone Peak. The Knights lead 2-1. We head to the top of the third in this Super Regional, the 2022 6A State Tournament. Top of the third inning as Austin Taylor looks at the breaking ball for a called strike. Billings had a little trouble in there in the bottom of the second inning. See if he settles himself down. He's had a lot of traffic on the bases. Whoa, that takes an interesting hop. Nice job there at shortstop. Able to stay down on that. Kayden Hodson, it hit the lip. That's why he worked the ball from the ground up. Hands go faster up, and they do come back down, and Hodson able to handle that for the first out of the inning. So that brings up Gage Olson. Went down on strikes in his first at bat. Fastball. Really in there for a called strike. Bender, man. That ball was just sitting on a hold on a string there by Billings as Olsen just could not hold off on that. 312 hitter is Olsen on the year, but now 0-2. Fastball, nice job at timing it up, fouls it off. So that one misses. Count now ball and 2 strikes. Here at Gage Olson. And now the 1-2 from Billings. Misses wide to count even up at 2-2. When you look at Copper Hills getting down 1 game in this series, trying to force a game 3. Got to have guys aboard. And they've been patient at the plate. And Billings is going to have to put myself in the Copper Hills dugout as, hey, make him prove he can throw back-to-back strikes. Doesn't mean you're getting up there taking everything. But make him prove he can throw back-to-back strikes. He throws that breaking ball, pitch 1. Let it go. See if you can get yourself to the fastball at a 1-2 count or a 2-1. Here's the payoff pitch. Misses. And that is a walk here for Gage Olson. So runner aboard and 1 out. And that approaches a couple things. One, it's going to force Lone Peak to get in their bullpen because if Billings unable to, even if he starts finding the zone, he's not going to pitch that deep into the game. Get the 4th, 5th inning, his pitch count's getting up. They have to make some decisions. And all stuff that Copper Hills has taken into account with their approach at the plate. So that brings up Cole Skibby, the catcher. Skibby singled and scored last inning. And now the 1-0 from Billings. That's in there for a called strike. Now getting that inner part of the plate on the fastball. Count even at 1-1. And now the 1-1 fastball misses wide. So count now 2-1. So Olson got a little crossed up there on that leadoff. He's barely off the bag here, off of Billings. And nice job of Cole Skibby. Break him up. Lots of things to do with the pitcher. Break up his timing, take your timeout. But a short lead there from Olson. Ball fouled out of play by Skibby. Takes count now 2-2. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 on, and 1 out. Fastball elevated, and Skibby swung through and missed. 2 away, and another strikeout for Billings.
For Copper Hills now hitting the designated hitter number 28, Leandro Pena.
And I'll bring up Leandro Pena. The 5th K of the day for Billings. That brings up Pena with 2 outs and Olson at first. Off-speed pitch in there for a called strike 1. Pena went down looking last inning. Going to rectify that here, playing them straight up, outfield, infield. Breaking ball bounces. He gives the count of 1-1. A great job there by Tenney, keeping that runner at first. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Here to Leandro Pena. Misses down and away. Count now 2-1. Good count for a power swinger. Cold day, ball, probably the wind pulling straight to right field. And bounces that. Count now 3-1. So Billings throwing back over. Some of that might not like the pitch. We were hoping to catch Olsen, but again, he's barely off the bag. Shots back to Billings and take that on the second hop. Throw over to first in time, and that'll do it for the top half of the third. Good inning by Billings, and now the bats coming to the plate for Lone Peak. You're watching the 2022 6A State Baseball Tournament on KSLSports.com. Welcome back to windy Lone Peak High School. Dusty Litster with you. The bottom of the third. Okay. Wind's blowing over our stuff all over the place, but bottom of the third inning. Thank you. So that one bounces as well. The count now 2 balls and a strike. Yeah, that one swung on and missed. Count even at 2-2. As Jordan Fry takes that one. So leadoff man aboard.
For the ninth, now hitting the designated hitter, number 22, Josh Heaton.
Time brings up Josh Heaton, the designated hitter, to runner on first, and no outs. And that pitch misses wide. Heaton lined out in his first plate appearance. Right back to the pitcher. A great play by Taylor. Would have made Big Brother proud. Fastball misses wide. Count now 2-0. The ball hit hard down the third baseline and foul. So the count now 2 balls and 1 strike. And running to go. First movement, that ball goes off the glove of the first baseman. And you can't blame Jordan Fry hitting the dirt there in second base. Could have easily gotten to third. But with the wind already blowing, you're not going to be able to hear your coach. There's nothing you're going to see. You're totally assuming that ball's coming because he goes on first movement. It was a great move by Taylor. But Jake Burbidge just going a little too fast there with the glove. So now an opportunity for Heaton to drive in a run. Chop through the left side. Backhand not there. Going to get into the outfield, but going to hold up again. So now, just like last inning, runners on the corners.
Now hitting for the ninth, the pitcher number 9, Chris Billings.
So Chris Billings has the chance to help himself out in another infield single. That's the third. Up the middles, we've had guy second baseman twice. Olsen had to try to make a tough play at second. Backhand not getting it cleanly. And that time, it was Peyton Adams. It's a tough play. Goes into the hole. Even if he gets it cleanly, you don't know that he's actually going to get the ball the first on time. Might be able to backdoor the throw to third. But here comes Chris Billings with a chance to help himself out. Shows the bunt. And Lone Peak takes second base once again. And Billings lifts this one down the left field line and foul. Great effort out there in left field. Grayson Wallen. So the count now, no balls and 2 strikes. Breaking ball, again, left field. Tailing toward the line, and that's going to fall in front of. Won't even get by him. 1 run comes in. Here comes the second. And that's a 2 RBI double for Chris Billings. And that's a tough one because of that ball bouncing away on a true error. That thing came right off the ground. So we'll go single, but it does get the 2 RBIs. So that brings up Tenney. Fouls that one back to the screen. Lone Peak now leading 4-1. They took the game 1 5-1 yesterday. And now the 0-1 breaking ball bounced. Evens the count of the ball on a strike. Tenney walked and scored. By way of his speed up runner, Slade A lifts this one high into the Lone Peak sky, drifting toward the right field line. The catch is made, and I'll advance the runner to third. And down the line's only 311. Might be your favorite band, but that's a short corner down the line. So runner on third, the 1 away, and that'll bring up Easton Comer, the first baseman on the day. As Comer fouls this one back to the screen. Mentioned has received his mission call to Milan, Italy. That's down the line and fair. That's going to bring it a run. Comer rounds first, heading into second. And as a stand-up RBI double for Easton Comer. Got it done on the football field during the fall, leading Lone Peak to a state championship. And here picks up the RBI double to extend the lead 5-1. And not only that, gets him in the double-digit RBIs on the year. So Jethro Johnson, the chance to pick up a run, fouls that one out. The 0-1 hit well. That's going to fall in. Comer had to see that one through. Freeze on a line drive and does. So now runners on the corners. If you're a wonder, hey, I need to score. You say base hit's going to score a run. They tell everybody, hey, freeze on a line drive. No need to get double off. But that might be the day here for Taylor. So runners on the corners. And we might have a pitching change here. You're watching the 2022 6A Baseball State Tournament on KSLSports.com. So Taylor going to stay in. Runners on the corners, 1 out. Crew Mcchesney at the plate. So back to the top of the order for Lone Peak and Copper Hills. They got to keep the double play ball in order. They've just given up second base on the first and third opportunities. And they're getting a throwback. Try to keep Jethro Johnson there. So holding the runner at first base. The middles are back. Corners even. The first pitch going to take, and it's a called strike. And another stolen bag here for Lone Peak. my unofficial book, that's the 6th stolen base. As Mcchesney goes to the left side, that's going to bring in a run. Mcchesney retired for the second out of the inning, but a run does come in, extending the lead to 6-1. So Crew picks up the RBI.
The left fielder, number 20, Kayden Campbell.
And now coming to the plate is Cade Gamble. An RBI single in his last at bat. Big swing there. Count 0-1. It's now a 5-run lead for the Lone Peak Knights. Fastball misses up. Campbell walked in the first, singled and drove in a run in the second. Swings through that outer half pitch and count now 1 ball and 2 strikes. See if he shortens up here. He's just waiting on the wind gust. Kind of like Tiger at the tee box. And 1. Whoa! Everybody crossed up a little bit. That ball's supposed to be down and away. Comes up and in, and that'll do it. But a big inning there for Lone Peak's offense. 4 runs come in, and Lone Peak takes the lead, or extends their lead 6-1 through 3 complete. We head to the top of the 4th. When we come back, you're watching the 2022 6A State Tournament. Top of the 4th inning, Dusty Lister with you. This Grayson Walling going to lead things off again. Make 2022 the year of you. Go to wgu.edu. Fill up your opportunity for a scholarship to Western Governors University. Your education, your time, your pace. Western Governors University. A 1-1 pitch to Walling, misses up. Grayson went down on strikes in his only plate appearance. As that one is off as well. So the count 2-1. Or probably 3-1. And a leadoff walk. Not been a clean game for Billings. And again, a cold day. Kind of understand a little bit. Just hasn't been able to find a groove here, but at the same time, a lot of traffic, but did surrender the run in the second inning, but able to get out of a pinch. And last inning, faced 4 batters, and so we'll see how he bounces back. His complaint now is Jake Burbidge. Burbidge walked his only plate appearance today. And that one finds a zone, swung on and missed. That pitch is wide. To the count now. 1-1. So holding the runner at first. They're taking short leads off the left-handed pitcher. That ball is foul. So the count, ball and 2 strikes here to Burbidge. Your Billings, you're in control. Plus, you're not worried about the runner either. Keep the double play ball in order, but that run doesn't hurt. Imagine you see a breaking pitch here. And for Burbidge, it's just shorten things up and move the runners. There is a breaking piece, fouled away. Count will remain a ball and 2 strikes. And that one's up. That's going to send the runner to second. So the count goes to 2-2 as Wallen advances. Two balls, 2 strikes, no outs, and a runner on second. And that misses down. Great frame by Tenney. That ball. That was a great frame by Tenney. Payoff pitch, swung on and missed. And another K for Billings. That was number 6 on the day. Of 11 possible outs. That is his 6th strikeout. And it's working out for him. I will quote Bull Durham, but it's not a negative. Throw some ground balls. Let your guys work behind you. Trying to strike everybody else. Not very democratic. And that ball thrown into the center field. Going to advance Wallen to third. Getting a little loose. As the wind picks up. Had a great chat with both coaches before the game. We talked about the weather this spring, extended winter. And both said, I don't know if I could pick 5 games this year. We've had really just what we call baseball weather. It has been abnormally cold and very windy is what they talked about. I didn't have to deal with the rain and snow. It's been windy on baseball days this year. And now the 0-2. Called strike 3.
For the Grizzlies, now at the plate for right field.
Punch out number 7. So now Zach Wallen can wear that on the back of the hill. So I'll put runners on the corners as we go to the top of the order.
At the plate for Copper Hills, number 2, Kayden Hodson.
So to the top of the order and to the shortstop, number 2, Peyton Adams. As that's off the plate. Adams 0 for 2 on the day. And down on strikes and hit into a fielder's choice. 1-0, fouled off. Count out even the ball and a strike. And this ball chopped up the middle. Hodson there and goes the short way to end the 4th, top of the 4th. We head to the bottom of the fourth. It is all Lone Peak. Knights lead 6-1. You're watching the 2022 6A state tournament on KSLSports.com. Welcome back, bottom of the fourth, and that one going to be just in time.
At the plate for
As Kayden Hodson grounds out.
Number 10, Jordan Fry.
So Jordan Fry, the second baseman, comes to the plate. As that one misses. The 1-0. Foul off. What we just heard is that even though it's been a cold spring, it's one of the coldest games this year. Fry grounds this one to short. Adams up with it. And in time, 2 putouts for Adams to start the bottom of the fourth.
At the plate for Lone Peak, the designated hitter, number 22, Josh Heaton.
As that'll bring up Josh Heaton. But where the backhand had failed the middle infield for Copper Hills, you've seen Adams play that one cleanly twice. And now Heaton lifts this one high into left field. And tailing back towards center. And that's a 1-2-3 inning for Taylor. As we're done in the fourth. We head to the top of the fifth and a 5-run lead for Lone Peak, looking to punch their way to BYU. But Copper Hills coming to the plate. So top of the fifth inning, Dusty Litster with you. Austin Taylor going to lead things off for the Grizzlies. Austin 0 for 2 on the day. Also the pitcher of record for Copper Hills as Billings' pitch misses low. Yeah, that one swung through and missed. So count even at a ball and a strike. On a balmy day at Lone Peak. As that one fell back to the screen. We'll be at BYU next week for the 6A state tournament. Of course, we'll have coverage at UVU for 5A, and then Dane Stewart will be all laxed out. It'll be boys and girls lacrosse. Alex Tumulip will have the semifinals and championship soccer matches at Rio Tinto. So it is a jam-packed week for Game Live Rewind here on KSLSports.com. As Dane and Tim have done an amazing job covering lacrosse. Hope you've all enjoyed that coverage this year. They did a great job last year as well. But been spectacular. But a big week coming up next week. Maybe we should promote it as the big week. I mean, because I always get excited for football. We always get excited for basketball. The folks, I mean, just by short account, I mean, it's 24 baseball games. It's 65 games all next week, Monday through Saturday. As that one swung through and missed for another K for Billings and one away. But, you know, some might claim they're leaders in high school sports. They'll only do 65 games in a calendar year. We're doing it in 5 days next week. Oh, I'm good. You want a hot dog? But that is strikeout number 8 for Billings. That ball hit well to the left side. Oh, nice diving play. And not in time. Olsen able to beat out the throw, but Hodson, what a play. I mean, Vince has to do a breakout video on the play by Taylor. That would have been one on there as well. They only do baseball tonight one day a week, but those of us who love baseball and remember baseball tonight, web gems every night, going, gone. But Cole Skibby comes to the plate, the catcher, with the runner on first. The breaking pitch doesn't find the plate. We have a Lone Peak parent walk around in Oakland A's gear. I'm guessing he became a fan of Reggie Jackson. Maybe the Bash brothers, Dave Stewart, but Billings a little Barry Zito-ish with the breaking ball fastball combination. You know, one of those pitchers that didn't quite make the movie. Something about lefties, they didn't like him or Mulder. That ball fouled back. Two balls and one strike. And again, keeping Olsen close. Again, Olsen barely come off the bag there at first. They've kept everything very close to the left-handed pitcher. A lot of guys tend to do that. As that is in there for a called strike 2. You never understood it. Left-handed pitcher, you got to live kind of by the same rules. Watch that front foot. Unless you got a left-hander who gets away with the Andy Pettit move, which is about the 3/4 step home. And there's the bender in for a called strike 3. Much to the dismay of Skibby. He did not like the call, but thought he caught the corner. And it is out number 2. And K, number 9. And it is the 3rd called strikeout. So pinch hitter coming up. Is that ball gets away from Tenney, and a runner advances. I'm trying to find 55 here. This is Colin Bullock. (1-0). Lined into center, but right at Gamble. Hit it on the screws, but it's an atom ball. And that'll do it for the top of the 5th. We head to the bottom half of the 5th with a 5-run lead for Lone Peak. You're watching the 2022 6A state tournament. Bottom of the 5th inning. And Dusty Lister with you as that pitch finds it and evens the count at 1-1. And the little Texas Leaguer going to fall in there. That it will. And then looking to take second base. It'll be a single thrown out of second. Got a little greedy there. So give him the hit, but then the put out. So 8-6.
At the plate for the night, number 15, Kayden
And Tenney offers it the first pitch. And that falls into the Bermuda Triangle. And need a runner on first.
For the night, number 24, Easton Comer.
So now come to play is Easton Comer. With a runner on and 1 out. Comer singled and drove in a run. His 10th RBI on the year. Going to make Slade work there at first base. Going to make him do up downs. He's no longer tired and thirsty. Jay, got it back to him. That's a layup movie quote. If you know it, hit us up at GNL Rewind. The 1-0 to Comer. Lifted into center field. A little more carry on than he thought off the bat. But he retired for the second out of the inning. Ranging back was Hunter Logan for the second out. Taylor, we mentioned, give up 6 runs through the first 3 innings, but an order last inning, making some quick work here. And you're going to hear me say this a lot next week if you watch our coverage. See pitchers pitch to contact. Some guys just throw hard. Caden Carpenter throws really hard. We saw Billings today throws hard. He's a strikeout pitcher. When you pitch to contact, you're going to last a lot longer in the ball game, and you keep your defense involved. So when plays are to be made, they make them. Leads him off with a strike there. Jethro Johnson, the 9-hole hitter. Runner going to go. Johnson hit and run. Adams with the play behind the bag, but throw wide, and it is an infield single. So the runners on first and second, and 2 outs as we bridge to the top of the order. And that's what you ask your bottom of the order to do, bridge to the top and give your guys a chance here. And I'll bring up Crew Mcchesney. Crew did drive in a run his last at bat, but he's 0 for 2 with an RBI. Walked in the first. He grounded out to short, but brought in a run in his last at bat. Looks at ball 1. Of course, the Mcchesney name, very well known here at Lone Peak. Again, the short Adams there on the backhand goes the short way, but it's off the mark. That ball's going to go to the string and bring in 1. Here comes a second run. It'll be Mcchesney walking into third off the error. That's a fielder's choice and 2-run score. So no RBI is awarded there, my memory serves, for Mcchesney, though they do plate 2 off the throw. So E6 on the throw, and it's 8-1. So Mcchesney reaches on the fielder's choice. As Kid Campbell looks to strike 1. Rocket to first. Oh, nice stab. Burbidge does get it over in time. Nice stab there by Jake Burbidge, but that'll do it as Lone Peak does lead by 7. They plate 2 more and are up 8-1. You're watching the 2022 6A baseball tournament on KSLSports.com, your home for high school championships. Top of the 6th. Grayson Wallen at the plate, leading things off as Kayden Hodson comes in to pitch. Taking the ball from Billings. We'll get his official numbers here in just a moment. The 0-2 wide of the plate with 1 to burn. A 1 ball, 2 strikes. And Hodson has that one fouled out of play. And that one misses wide. Count even up 2 balls and 2 strikes. And now the 2-2. Hit well on the left center field, but Mcchesney tracks it down. Maybe on a non-windy day, got a shot, but Crew ranges over for the first out. So now I'll bring up the first baseman, Jake Burbidge. Oh, nope. Going to pinch hit. That is now Logan Burgess.
For Copper Hills at the plate, number 20, Logan Burgess.
And offers of the first one, chopped to third. It's in play. He called it. He was calling it fair. So we're going to have a little conversation here. I mean, home plate umpire saw him with his hand inside the line, showing fair. And they're going to call it foul. So bring Burgess back. Count now 0-1 off the foul ball. The 0-1, yes, he did at the plate. Count 0-2. Probably Jordan Fry pitching. So Fry kicks and fires on the 0-2 and bounces it. Last time we were here, we saw Fry pitch against Bingham. A 1-2 to short. Can be a long throw, not in time. Burgess gets up the line for the infield single. So runner aboard for Copper Hills.
For the Grizzlies at the plate, number 24, Hunter Logan.
As long as I've kept my book right, and I'm about 100%. It's only their second hit of the day. Skibby had a single back in the second. And now the infield single there for Logan Burgess. And a big swing from Hunter Logan. So the count 0-1 with a runner on first. And one away. Gets a lower half strike. So Burgess away from first. Pokes out one through the right side. That's going to get through in a errant throw to first. Going to move the runners. So we're going to give him a single and then E4 on the throw. And I'll move the runners to second and third.
Now hitting for Copper Hills, number 44.
This shades of Louis Rengifo giving up the tying run just on a Tuesday night in Arlington. At least the first baseman's injured. So runners on second and third, and it is Zach Wallen come to the plate. That looks at ball one. Zach has walked in both plate appearances today. I'd like to bridge his way to the top of the order as he looks at ball two. Now you bridge up to Adams. I got Adams, Taylor, and Olson. That ball hit well in the center. And And Mcchesney there quickly. Nothing happening. No tag on that one. As Mcchesney flashing the arm. So now 2 away.
At the plate for the Grizzlies, number 2, Kayden Adams.
So to the top of the order we go on Peyton Adams. And that one wide of the plate. And that's up in the zone. So 2 balls and no strikes from Fry to Adams. And the 2-0 chopped, taken on the run to throw to first, not in time. Run does come in, so it's an RBI single for Adams, and there'll be runners on the corners. And 2 outs. So an RBI single.
At the plate, number 42, Austin Taylor.
And now bring up Austin Taylor. The 1-0 finds zone. And Taylor fouls that one back to the screen, so a ball and 2 strikes. One ball, 2 strikes. Fry misses wide. Breaking piece in and find the zone. And that one swung on and missed for the 3rd out of the inning. A little sleepy end of the inning as we head to the bottom of the 6th inning. Copper Hills did play a run, but they trail by 6. You're watching the 6A baseball tournament on KSLSports.com. So, bottom of the 6th inning, Dusty Lister with you. We'll get our, we give Preston some time off. Just let him enjoy things. And there you go. You got our scoreboard back. So, here's the ball is wide here. Kayden Hodson. Count even at 1-1. And that one, he slows up the bat and is a little fly out to short.
For the night.
So I'll bring up Jordan Fry. Getting some bullpen work in today is Jordan Fry. Things hold. We're going to have a fun start to our day on Monday at BYU. Again, games got moved back an hour. So if you've been looking at the bracket, expecting stuff to start at 11 o'clock on Monday, it is not. It moved back to noon with BYU qualifying for the postseason, the WCC tournament. Cougs needed to be able to play or practice, so first pitch on Monday will be at noon. And I'll have all those games right here. KSLSports.com is that ball fouled off by Hodson. Or by Fry. I saw Luke Hyde just a little bit ago. He'd been at the ballpark, and all I kept thinking is, I almost called him Luke Hobbs. 4 years of that nonsense for that poor kid as Hodson fouls that one off. The 2-2 plunked him. Hey, easily take the breaking one. His second time he's been hit by a pitch today. First inning in the sixth inning, for those wondering. So, Fry getting the speed up. I hear this song, and all I think is walking through Caesar's Palace. Name that movie. Hit us up at GNL Rewind. As Heaton takes ball one. Josh Singleton scored in the third. Breaking ball off the hip. Yeah.
At the plate for the Knights, number 9, Chris Billings.
So tough start to the inning here for Connor Snook. Two-hit batsman here for Connor Snook. That'll bring up Chris Billings. All of a sudden the month of May showed up. As Billings looks at strike one. Outside pitch and kind of in an interesting spot as that ball mishandled at second base. But that was an interesting one, thinking that maybe Snook might go get that ball. Talk about the little fly ball that fell in just beyond second base. Talk about being the Bermuda Triangle. Well, there's your infield version. He had a little chopper between the bags there. And all three fielders weren't sure where to go. So now bases loaded as Tenney comes to the plate. So infield single for Billings. In the words of Harry Doyle, give credit to Taylor for sacrificing his body on that racket. He's got a future family to think about. As Tenney looks at strike one. Infield in. I'm trying to get the home to first double play on a ground ball as Snook's breaking ball off the plate. Count even at a ball and a strike. So 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Bases loaded. Outer half lifted into right center field, drifting back. Still looking up. I'm able to pull that one in. 1 run will come in as everybody advances. So the sacrifice fly and the RBI for Tenney. And the game-ending run is at second base.
At the plate for the Knights,
Pardon me, the game-ending run's at the plate in the form of Easton Comer. If not, we'll go to the top half of the 7th and last bat time for Copper Hills. As Comer looks at strike one. Easton 2 for 3 today with 2 singles, an RBI, and a run scored, and a stolen base. Chopped back to Snook. And that'll do it for the bottom of the 6th inning. Last chance time coming up for Copper Hills. We head to the top of the 7th inning. You're watching the 2022 6A State Championship. So top of the 7th inning. Last chance time here for Copper Hills. Is Gage Olson at the plate. And looks a strike 2. Count out, no balls and 2 strikes. The 0-2. That one just let that out of play. Nice also from Billings. Needs to get some running in anyway. 20 poles. Was a standing operating up back in the day coaching all pitchers at the end of every game. 10 poles, 20 if you started. You're through. Chopper to short. Nice handle. Throw over in time. Nicely done there by Hodson. So one away.
Now hitting for Copper Hills, number 3, Cole Skibby.
So bring up the catcher, Cole Skibby. Singled and scored in the second. Bender in there for a called strike. Elevates the fastball, unable to get to it, but it fouls it away. So count out, no balls and 2 strikes. As I mentioned, Cole batted .338 on the year. 15 runs driven in, 9 doubles, and 2 long balls. As he bounces that one, they count ball and 2 strikes. And he waves at that one. Beautiful pitch by Fry, and Skibby down on strikes. 2 away. Lone Peak 1 out away, going to BYU. They'll take on, presumably, will be taking on American Fork, the reigning 6A champ. They'll be reseeded at BYU, so still not fully certain what we'll see there. As there's Bullock coming to the plate, chopped to short. Hodson on this over the first, and that'll do it. Lone Peak takes the Super Regional 2 games to none as they take this second game 9-2. And they punch their ticket to BYU on Monday. And the Copper Hills, another good year for the Grizzlies, but the day comes to an end and the season comes to an end at the hands of the Lone Peak Knights. As give you some final thoughts on a selection of a Heaton Associates Player of the Game. I'm going to go Chris Billings. Billings pitched a great game, 9 strikeouts, goes 5 complete. And a 2 RBI single back in the 3rd inning and a run scored as well. Thought he pitched well, handled the bat well as to boot. But Lone Peak moving on to BYU with a chance to continue to play this year, go after the 6A State Championship. We'll have all those games for you right here on KSLSports.com. For Vince Francis, I'm Dusty Lister. Thanks for joining us and for watching Game Night Live Rewind's coverage of the 2022 6A State Championship Baseball Tournament. Brought to you by Heaton Associates and Western Governors University. Go to wgu.edu to earn an opportunity to get a scholarship to Western Governors University. Again, 9-2 our final score. The Heaton Associates Player of the Game is Chris Billings of Lone Peak. Good year for Copper Hills. We'll see Lone Peak on Monday. And again, thanks for watching the 2022 6A Baseball Tournament on your new home for high school championships, KSLSports.com.